Am I live? Am I live? Check, check, check. Am I live? Is this thing on? Am I live? Am I live? Oh, my mic sounds loud. Let me change that. That thing must be on like 100%. Hold up. Yeah, it's pretty much on. No, that's not the mic. Damn, is my mic loud? Hold up. Check, check, check. Yeah, it's pretty much on. No, that's not the mic. Why is that mic so loud? Hold up, people. Hold on. Bear with me for a second. Let me figure out this mic situation. I'm going to turn this down a little bit. 75. Let's see. Mic check, mic check, mic check, mic check. I'm going to turn this down a little bit. 75. Let's see. Mic check, mic check, mic check, mic check. That's still sound. I'm going to turn this down a little. Oh, that's definitely loud. That's definitely loud. Let me turn it down in OBS. Let me turn it down in OBS. Give me 1 second, folks. Y'all let me know how my mic is sounding in the chat. Turned it down to 50. Second, folks. Y'all let me know how my mic is sounding in the chat. Yeah, that sounds much better to me. That sounds much better to me. What up, what up, what up? I don't know what this stream is at this point. I had initially started this stream with an intent, and we just got some breaking news. So at this point, we're just gonna talk. We just gonna talk at this point, cause yeah, we got some things to talk about. Now, I'm not gonna be here for too long. We do got Good Gaming podcasts coming back for the new year. That's gonna be starting at 8 o'clock on Kofi's channel. So I'll be sure to link y'all over there when this is all done. But we are here. First stream of 2025. I'm feeling good. I'm feeling great. Blessed to be here. Blessed to see everybody in the chat. Blessed to see everybody hitting that like button. I hope everybody's doing well, and I hope everybody's doing great. I just, got my workout in. I've been very consistent on my workouts. You know what I'm saying? That has allowed me and prepared me to get back into doing my thing on when it comes to streaming and stuff like that. So make sure you get your workouts in, eating a little better, you know what I'm saying, doing my thing. So that's gonna be my journey for the new year. I'll keep y'all posted. But listen, of course, we got to talk about the Nintendo Switch 2 being revealed, the worst kept secret in the damn gaming industry. And we have to talk about what the fuck is going on with PlayStation and this live service initiative. Listen, it's been a couple things that have released about PlayStation and the live service. If you didn't know, Shuhei Yoshida left PlayStation. He's gone, and the first interview he did was what Kind of Funny. I watched that interview, so there's some things I want to talk about with that. And then breaking news. Well, I should say breaking rumors. Jason Schreier, who's fucking 99.9%, excuse my language, he pretty much is saying that PlayStation is canceling 2 live service games, one from Ben Studios and one from Blue Point Games. Apparently, Blue Point Games was working on a God of War live service game. Whose decision was that? Whose decision was that? And we don't know what Ben Studio was working on, but Ben Studio has listen, ever since Days Gone, they have not been looking good when it comes to the sequel to Days Gone getting, shot down. They were working on this live service game. Now, if that got canceled, like I'm fearing for that studio now. But let me shout out some people in the chat. I appreciate y'all tuning in. Make sure y'all hit that like button. Shout out to my boy Hustle in the building. What's goody? Muck, what's going on? RK said no GG today. No, there will be good gaming today. We will be doing good gaming today. I just wanted to come on here and say what up to the people. Check in as you will. Because I haven't been on this channel in a minute. And, I'm feeling good. I'm feeling better. So I just want to check in with everybody and start to, get into the flow of things for 2025. Hustle, definitely get back to your push-ups, my guy. Doing push-ups is never enough push-ups. If you ask yourself, damn, did I do enough push-ups today? Do more. Issue said, J-May, Sony just canceled Ben's live service game and Blue Point's live service game. This gen is cooked. They were starting their new games now. It's a joke. Yeah, we're gonna talk about that. PlayStation starting off with a bang, canceling it. Yeah, that's the bang. Listen, the bang is the gunshot. The bang is the gunshot. The PlayStation executives walking into the studios. Bow, nigga, your game is dead. Hold on, what you working on over here? Bow, nigga, your game is dead too, nigga. Figure out something else. Y'all saying my volume is low. Oh, okay. I did turn it down because I thought I was loud. Let me turn it back up, and y'all let me know if I'm good. What was this on? This was on, I think, 75. Okay, I turned it back up. So please let me know if I'm too loud. All right. What else we got? J Main stays spamming the emojis on the timeline. Yeah, that's my bag. If you see anybody else doing it, just know they stole it from me. Yes, sir. It's not a rumor. The article has comment from Sony themselves. Okay, I didn't read the article yet, so I'll get into that once I get the show going. Sony first party this gen is cooked. Yeah, we're gonna talk about all of that. Where can I get the wave cap? Oh, I bought this off of Amazon, brother. Did I buy this off Amazon? I think I did. I think I had this off Amazon. Nev meeting Kofi at the Nintendo Toronto event. All right, listen, let's get into it. Shout out to y'all in the chat. Shout out to everybody pulling up. My guy Leaky, Knick-Knack in the building. Nev, what's going on? Ishi in the chat. Inventory, shout out to you. Blinded, Chrono Clicker. Hopefully I see all of y'all over at the Good Gaming stream as well. Lord Lightskin in the chat. Sony need to step it up with the multiplayer game. They trying. It ain't working. This shit ain't working. All right. First things first, let's get into the Nintendo Switch. So let me flip over. I'm a mess right now. All right. That should be good now. Check, 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 check. Y'all can hear me? Check, check. Let me turn up the mic. He said he just yapping. I'm gonna run it back. I'm good now. I'm good. All right, I'm good now. Let me know about the levels if it's good, if I'm too loud or not. But listen, Nintendo Switch 2 first look trailer. Now this has been the worst kept secret in the gaming industry. The leaks have been going crazy. The leaks have been going crazy pretty much since the top of the year, but even a little bit before that, we started, getting a little bit of rumblings about hearing about the Nintendo Switch 2 and people saying they know what it looked like, yada, yada, yada. Now, I think this might have been the first time, at least as far as I can remember, that Nintendo, I should say modern Nintendo has reacted to public pressure. I want to say maybe, you could kind of say maybe Power World. They felt like they had to do something about that. And as you see now, they got the lawsuit. But the leaks of the Switch 2, I think forced Nintendo to put this trailer out. And the reason why I say that is because this is about as bare minimum of a console reveal that you'll ever see. Bare minimum as you'll ever see. I think even when PlayStation revealed their the PS4 for the first time, while they didn't show the console, they still show games. Nintendo here, you got the look of the system, you got some features of the system, and you got a look at what may be a new game. Like, and then they was out. So we're gonna watch this trailer real quick. I'm gonna give my thoughts, but let me know down in the chat if y'all watched this trailer already. What y'all think about the reveal of the Nintendo Switch 2? Let's get into it. Make it big. Pause. And this is a 1080p trailer, by the way. Why am I only hearing it? Oh, okay. Thought I was only hearing it out of one side. So you can see, boom. First things first, they started shaving down the Nintendo Switch, the original, showing you that this might have like a more sleeker, curvier design. USB-C. That's new. Same old power button, volume button. You got the speakers. Headphone jack is still a thing, because courage. Nintendo was holding on to that headphone jack. I want to know how many people out there still use wired headphones when it comes to their handheld devices, whether it be a phone, a handheld PC, or a handheld. Well, I don't know. Does the Switch have Bluetooth? Yes, the Switch does have Bluetooth. How many people still use wired? I know for the PlayStation Portal, you gotta use wired if you have like regular headphones. If you got the PlayStation like Elites or the earbuds, then you could be wireless. You said wire is better for latency. That's true, but it's not really for us. Like, I think that's more for like audio files or people that's really into like producing audio and music. I don't think it's really that big of a latency when it comes to us playing video games and shit like that. Not we gonna really notice. All right, keep going. So we got a new style of kickstand. Look. Nintendo freaky as hell. They trying to show us how flexible the the Nintendo Switch 2 is. They got all these sound effects and stuff like that. Alright, on to the Joy-Cons. So far, it's looking like a basic, upgrade. Like, it's not looking like anything that's like, oh shit, that's the Switch 2? Like, it's not looking like anything like revolutionary or anything like that. Joy-Cons a little bit bigger. Black this time with the color accents. I do like that. I'm a fan of black electronics, so I do like that. I see they still got that whack-ass D-pad. Whack-ass D-pad. Hall effect sticks. What you mean by that? Hall effect stick? I'm not familiar with that term. Blade X was good. Because those thumbsticks look pretty similar to the other ones. Got your average button placements. Alright, this was probably the biggest feature reveal, but they didn't really talk about it right here. Oh, Hall effect equals no drift. Oh, okay. Oh, well, if anybody's going to have it in there, it's Nintendo and fucking PlayStation, because them two was synonymous with stick drift. I actually have a DualSense controller now with stick drift. But this right here, where they're showing off the Joy-Cons sliding around after, being put onto that, like, rail, I'm going to assume this means that the Switch is going to have some type of mouse-like capabilities when it's in this form right here, which I think that's kind of cool. I do think that's kind of cool. As somebody, like, personally for me, I really can't get down with the mouse and keyboard when it comes to like PC gaming. But I remember, I think it was Black Bonds, the first person I heard say that there was a way to use the PlayStation Move navigator controller, as well as, what was it, a controller or something like that in your left hand and a navigator controller in your right hand to kind of simulate the like a mouse-like movement. Oh no, it was mouse in your right hand, navigator controller in your left hand. So you got the aim of the mouse still, but moving around you don't have to use WASD and all those other keyboard buttons. So if the Switch has something like that, where one of these can be a mouse like for the aiming and stuff like that, and then you could use the other controller as like moving around and aiming your gun and stuff like that, I think that'll be dope as hell. We'll see how it really turns out, but I think that's a cool feature right there. Let's keep going. And of course, they're showing how the Joy-Cons connect to the system. A different setup there. A different setup with the Joy-Cons. You see it has like this, I don't even know what you call this, but this, I guess, a port that you can put the Joy-Cons on. But I guess I'm hearing also that it has like a magnetic attachment too. So it's not just that it connects to, but it also has a magnetic thing involved where it also connects with that. So I think so far this looks better than what the previous Joy-Con setup was. And I always felt the Joy-Con previous setup was a little loosey-goosey and it didn't ever feel like really secure. So I'm interested to see how this part feels. All right. And they color-coded those ports so you don't put it in the wrong way. And we got 2. Nintendo Switch 2. That simple. I do like them calling this the Nintendo Switch 2. My preference for name would have been the Super Nintendo Switch. But I know they wanted to make it so that this device was never to be mistaken as an addition to the original Nintendo Switch. Like, this is its own separate thing when it comes to people purchasing it. So they went with the 2. I think that's the best way to let people know, all right, this is the next evolution, and this will have some things on it that you cannot do or cannot play from the previous generation. And then we have what I'm assuming is a new Mario Kart game. I'm assuming this is a new Mario Kart game. Only way that I'm almost certain is people pointed out this right here, this screenshot right here, which shows the car placements. And there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 slots in a row. And then there's 1, 2, 3, 4 rows. So that's about what, 24 cars, which would be insane. 24 people races. That's pure chaos. That's pure chaos. But we might finally be getting a new Mario Kart game. And fucking finally get a new Mario Kart. After Mario Kart 8 coming out on the Wii U, being ported over to the Switch, and I think it ended up being like the highest selling Switch game, and finally getting a new Mario Kart game. So not this not being like the official reveal, but I guess hinting at what's to come. And that's the dock right here. Again, if there's any negative that I have about the design of the Nintendo Switch, it's that it looks very familiar. It looks very safe. I think this might have been the safest console design Nintendo might have ever went with. And you could chime in if you've seen safer, but this looks exactly like a Nintendo Switch, especially the newer models that come in like the black color, that are a little bit bigger, and stuff like that. This looks very safe. And I would have hoped that Nintendo took a little bit more liberties with the design of the system itself. I get it still having Joy-Cons. I get it still being a dock type thing. I get it being called the Nintendo Switch 2. But can you at least make it look like it's a next generation, like you're going into a new generation when it comes to the design? Not a big deal. Not a big deal, because at the end of the day, we're going to look at the system when we first buy it, pop the shit on the dock, or either hold it in our hands and never really give a fuck after that point. But this look is very safe. It's very safe. When you go like from the Xbox original to the 360, 2 completely different looking type of systems. Even from the PlayStation. I mean, PlayStation 1, of course, the PlayStation 2, but PlayStation 2 to PlayStation 3. PlayStation 4, yeah. And then PlayStation 5 is like a completely different looking thing, you know? And even with Nintendo, the original Nintendo Entertainment System, Super Nintendo, like it still kept the gray scheme, but it looked different. Super Nintendo to Nintendo 64 looked different. 64 to GameCube, and so on and so forth. I think people are saying the 3DS was safe too. I guess you could say that. I think the biggest thing with the 3DS is the whole 3D thing, but it still looked like a DS. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. I agree to an extent. I agree with that to an extent. I think with this, if it ain't broke, I think we talking about the Switch itself. Like, okay, it's a handheld that you could dock and play it at home. That is if it ain't broke, don't fix it. I think you can still take liberties with the way it looks. I don't think people are going to be like confused or anything or not get the Switch 2 because it looks so much different than the Switch 1. You feel what I'm saying? I don't think that's going to be a problem. It's not going to be a Wii U effect where people are looking at it like, oh, this is just a tablet for the original Wii. You know, I don't think it's going to have any issues like that. But I understand what you're saying because they feel like, all right, we making a sequel to a system again. How do we make this so that there's no confusion at all on what this thing is? So I get it. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. But I think they still played it too safe in that sense. So let's finish out the trailer. We still got the Joy-Con connector for the controller. That still looks very much the same. Basically meaning we got the second worst controller of all time. Like Joy-Cons are when they're not either attached, even when they are attached, but when they aren't attached or you playing with them by themselves or they're attached to this little controller hookup, terrible. I'm looking forward to seeing what attachments come from third-party accessory makers because I get the Pro controller, but I'm not playing it like this. And 2025, which we all assumed. All right, this right here is important. Plays Nintendo Switch 2 exclusive games as well as Nintendo Switch games. So this is basically confirming backwards compatibility. Nintendo Switch 2 plays both physical and digital Nintendo Switch games. Certain Nintendo Switch games may not be supported on or fully compatible with the Nintendo Switch 2. Details will be shared on the Nintendo website at a later date. So I think they have to put that asterisk there because they cannot confirm what third-party developers are going to do in terms of compatibility. You know, these days there's licensing and stuff like that, so you can't confirm what games will work on a future system. But when it comes to the Nintendo games, I'm pretty sure every Nintendo game will work on if it's backwards compatible from the original Nintendo to the new Nintendo Switch 2. So I wouldn't worry too much about that. But backwards compatibility, which I think is something that they already confirmed. But I guess it's good to see it here for people that, you know, might want to play, you know, some of the older games on the Nintendo Switch 2. And either, you know, because they want to revisit old games or to see how the new system takes advantage of the hardware. I'm trying to look at these two systems down here at the bottom to see how different they are in comparison, to see if there's any like thing that we could see right here. The only thing, no, I can't even say like the FOV is different. Is it? Oh, look at that. Yeah, I think the FOV is the same. It just looks like it's blown up more. So I don't think this is a good representation of anything that may be different between the two. All right, so that is the Nintendo Switch 2. I want to say this is probably the most bare bones reveal when it comes to a console. Oh, my bad. There's more. Nintendo Switch 2 Direct is April 2nd of 2025. So I guess that'll probably be the next time we hear from Nintendo when it comes to games. coming to the Nintendo Switch 2. And this right here, I was shocked to see it was an April 2nd date because they revealed this in January. So if they're revealing it in January, then the direct for the games ain't until April. When the hell is the system coming out? The summertime? Probably, right? Probably be the summertime. I'm thinking the summertime is when we're going to get the Nintendo Switch 2, probably like a June or July release date, which I think is perfect. I think July is like summertime is usually like quiet months when it comes to the gaming industry. So if there's any place you want to drop this new system, not that Nintendo needs to like pick and choose a place to drop a system. Like I think at this point, Nintendo is solidified. Not even at this point, Nintendo is solidified in the gaming industry. So whenever they drop something, people going to pay attention. But if there was any time period to maximize attention, summer is the best. Surgical Switch summer. What Blandrew say? He'd be like, the everlasting summer known as the Nintendo Switch? Yeah, this is part 2 right here. This is part 2 right here. Shout out to Blandrew. Everlasting summer known as the Nintendo Switch. Shout out to Blandrew. Y'all go check out his channel till he dropped some new videos over there that were really good. So go over there and check those out. But Nintendo Direct is coming for the Switch in April. I'm hearing that there's another Direct coming in February that is for the original Nintendo Switch. So I guess they still got some more stuff to announce for that. We'll see. But yeah. What are your thoughts, people? What are we thinking? How we feeling about the Nintendo Switch 2? Okay, they got a series of hands-on events held around the world. I did want to talk about this because I'm actually thinking about popping up. So, I guess sometime starting, let me click the link. I think sometime starting in April, is it? Let's see. So registration begins in January 17th. Till January 26th. Tickets, I believe, are free. Free to enter. Oh, they randomly select the drawing. Register during the, yeah, so they have a few locations where they will be showing off the Nintendo Switch, and you can get hands-on, Nintendo Switch 2, excuse me, and you can get hands-on. And this is after the Direct, so we'll know about some games and stuff like that, too, that's coming to the platform. I'm in New York, so, of course, I'm thinking about pulling up to this event between April 4th and April 6th. Only thing I'm hoping is that niggas got deodorant on. That's only, like, it's nothing else stopping me from going to this event except deodorant. And I'm not talking about the aluminum-free natural deodorant. Get you some aluminum deodorant, okay? Because some of y'all boys, y'all be funky. I can just tell by your profile pictures. Y'all be funky, man. Put some deodorant on, take a shower, and let's go have some fun with some video games. That's the only thing I'm thinking about that's holding me back from showing up to this event. But we're going to see. April is a couple months away. It is a weekend, so I'll be off from work. I'm thinking about really pulling up to that. So all my New York folks, if y'all in the area, you might see me there. You might see me there. So yeah. I think for this reveal for the Nintendo Switch 2, it's just, the word I keep coming back to is safe. It's a very safe reveal. It's a very safe design. And I only think we got it this early because Nintendo was feeling the pressure from those leaks. Nintendo is feeling pressure from them leaks. Them leaks were spot on. There was a render. There was a leak render that looked exactly like this. It even had the color accents underneath the analog sticks on the Joy-Cons. So they had it. Whoever, like accessory makers, people that might have seen it behind the scenes, they saw it. They knew what it looked like. They had it. They nailed it. So yeah, they had to come out and say something. And that's why I think we got this type of reveal. So I'm not even really trying to hold Nintendo's feet to the fire when it comes to this reveal because I get it. I get it from the standpoint that the leaks was coming. They might have not been ready to reveal it how they wanted to reveal, and they might have been forced to do it. They might have been forced to like put this out before the leaks got too crazy. So I'm cutting them a little bit of slack here. As far as like Mario Kart 9 and how it looks, shout out to Hard 8. He was saying that we give Nintendo a pass when it comes to like the visuals and stuff like that. Listen, when it comes to Nintendo and a handheld, I'm not expecting groundbreaking visuals. You know what you get from Nintendo at this point. You know what you get. At this point, I'm expecting all their games to run at 60 frames per second. It's a handheld, so at least 1080p. And that's it. That's really it and what I'm expecting from Nintendo. And for the games to look fun and fire. That's it. That's it. I don't care if that upsets you, if that makes you feel some type of way, then it is what it is. Niggas got different expectations for what the system is. It's just that it's just like that. If it's a high-end PC, I got expectations for that. If it's a console, I got expectations for that. If it's a handheld, I got expectations for that. And I also have what I feel like I will be comfortable with playing. So that is what it is. That is what it is. You said the leaks were occurring since October. You don't think Nintendo was pressure? No, but it wasn't like this. It's not a double standard. It's not a double standard. It's not. It's standards for each different thing. It's like picture it like this. If you go into the basketball court to play basketball, you got kids, like little kids there, teenagers there, and adults there. You're not applying the adult standard of how they should be playing basketball to the kids. You're not doing that. You know that's a kid. You know what to expect from a kid. You're not going to expect the kid to be balling like the adults, dunking and shit like that, doing reverse layups and ones and shit like that. You're not expecting that. Nintendo is the kid. You're not expecting what you're getting from a high-end PC or a console, like a home console from Nintendo. You just not. You just not. And then they got DLSS. That's going to be doing a lot of heavy lifting. We'll see. We'll see what happens there. But if the Switch 2 is $400 and it's compared to the PS5 digital where it's the same price, well, the price, that's something that I can't argue because the price is in the eye of the beholder. That's all I'm going to say. The price is in the eye of the beholder. However, whatever you feel like is worth it for your money, that's up to you. $400 for a console, for me, I can do that. I can do that. I can do $400 for something that I think I'm going to enjoy. I can do that. So yeah, Nintendo Switch 2, y'all. It's here, but it's not. It doesn't feel like it's really here, but it is. It's revealed at least. Is there anything else that they talked about with the Switch? Let's see. That was pretty much it. Look, my mention's blowing up. People telling me about it's people getting on me about those canceled live service games. So that's pretty much all I got to say about the Nintendo Switch for now. We're gonna talk about it more on some specs leaked. Let's look at those specs real quick. Let me see if I can find the spec sheets. Let's pull this over here. So, I almost don't even want to talk about these specs because it's not confirmed. You know what? I'm not gonna talk about. I'm not gonna talk about the specs. At this point, I'm not gonna talk about the specs. I'm gonna wait until everything is confirmed for the specs to compare and stuff like that. But let's move on. Let's move on from this Switch. So unfair, Nintendo. Nintendo does not always get a pass. They don't always get a pass. I still have standards for Nintendo when it comes to their games. Like, I was one of the loudest people on Twitter screaming about Tears of the Kingdom. The game was 30 FPS and it was still dropping frames. I was one of the loudest people. I didn't even beat the game. I dropped the game because of that. I was one of the loudest people screaming about the Nintendo Switch and Tears of the Kingdom. So don't tell me Nintendo gets a pass. I was also one of the people that pointed out that Games past the Tears of the Kingdom have frame rate issues at 30 FPS. So don't tell me I'm brainwashed or I'm giving Nintendo a pass. You can't even say that. You can't even say that. That's wrong. False. Come with some better accusations. All right, moving on. Lack of third party is okay. I would never even play third party games on Nintendo Switch, so why would I give a fuck? I don't care. I don't care. I wouldn't even play it there. I have a whole console that can play it, or I would build a better PC to play third party games. So why would I care about third party games on the Switch? See, y'all want to argue, and we gonna argue, because I ain't arguing with y'all in a minute. When y'all want to argue, let's argue. Nintendo doesn't need story in games, no voice acting, outdated games, and hardware. Not fair. I've actually been vocal about Nintendo not having voice acting in games. I've been vocal about Nintendo not having story in games. So let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. But see, the things that y'all are mentioning would never make me not play a game. See, that's where y'all confused and don't know how to separate things. The only thing that would make me really not play a game is if it has bad gameplay. It's only if it has bad gameplay. A game could be lacking in the visual department, lacking in the cinematic storytelling department, lacking in the voice acting department. If the game is fun to play, I'm going to play the game. I'm going to play the game. That's the thing that y'all need to understand about me. I don't, like, those things matter, and I would like to see them be better, but it's not going to stop me from playing the game. Simple as that. Simple as that. All right, I got to move on because I got 20 minutes and then we got to start the podcast. All right, PlayStation, Shuhei Yoshida, live service games. Let's talk about it. PlayStation, Shuhei Yoshida during the kind of funny interview, and let me bring this up real quick before I talk about it, because I want to make sure that I get it right. Okay. Oh, damn. What the fuck? All right, so Shuhei Yoshida did an interview. Oh, no, that's the wrong link. That's the wrong link. Shuhei Yoshida. Oh, here it is. Shuhei Yoshida did an interview with Kinda Funny Greg Miller. And Greg Miller pretty much asked him about like the live service initiative, the live service push from PlayStation, and how it has impacted the first party and how it has impacted the release of games, and if he would have pretty much did anything different. So the clip that's been floating around, or the quote that's been floating around, is that Shuhei Yoshida said that if he was in charge, he would have resisted the live service push. And that is probably the reason that he got let go, or it was probably a reason why they wanted him out of there. Is what I'm saying. Yeah, he said, let's see, where's the quote? Oh, okay, here it is. He said, no, this ain't it. Okay. Yeah, this don't have the quote. Let me find the quote real quick. Bear with me, people. Bear with me. I want to make sure I'm getting this stuff right. Can't be on here talking bullshit when it comes to the facts. Okay, here it goes. Yeah, so Shuhei Yoshida says that if he was still in charge of PlayStation first parties, he would have tried to resist the PlayStation Live service push and joked that maybe this is why they removed him. So he's talking about how Shuhei was the head of first party at PlayStation, and Jim Ryan. So if you watch the interview, Jim Ryan came to Shuhei Yoshida during the time where people felt like PlayStation wasn't paying attention to indies as much as they were at the beginning of the PS4 generation. So Shuhei Jim Ryan goes to Shuhei and he was like, yeah, people are out there pretty much saying that we don't care about indies no more. And Shuhei, in the interview, Shuhei was like, yeah, you should do something about that. He was like, yeah, you should do something about that. And Jim Ryan was like, no, you're going to do something about that. So Jim Ryan was pretty much like, you're going to lead this new indie initiative, and I'm going to put Herman Hall. We're going to put Herman Hulst in charge of first party studios. So at that time, that's what he's joking about when he said they removed them from first party, because he's saying that if they was going in the live service direction, Shuhei wouldn't have been for that. So what Shuhei then goes on to say is that the live service initiative, Sony gave Herman Hulst, because he's the head of first party, resources to invest into live service games for PlayStation. But these are resources in addition to the single player games that they already have been developing. So this, what Yoshida said is that these live service games, like, don't stop making single player games, but here's some more resources. Go try and find like some live service studios. Go try and make some live service games that can pop. So a lot of people have been under the assumption that PlayStation has been sacrificing single player games to take on this live service initiative. But what Shuhei Yoshida is saying is that PlayStation is not saying like skip the single player games. In addition, try and see if you can make something work with the live service games. And for the most part, I believe that, because I always ask people, what single player games have you felt have been sacrificed because of PlayStation's investment into live service games? And I'm asking the chat that as well. Like, let me know, what single player games do you feel like have been sacrificed? Because the one studio that I did thought was hindered by the live service push was Naughty Dog. Originally, I thought Naughty Dog was, because they were making Factions 2 or Last of Us Online. And they always talked about, oh, this is like our most ambitious game yet. We pouring in the same type of love that we do into our single player games into this live service game. But then when you look at it, when you look at the big picture, one, they canceled that live service game when they felt that it would take too many things away from the single player aspect. And two, they just revealed their new single player game that's been in development since 2020 and is expected to come out within the next few years. So that seems like a normal development cycle. Now, breaking news that we just got is that PlayStation has canceled 2 live service projects from Ben Studios and Bluepoint Games. The rumor from Jason Schreier, or the report from Jason Schreier, is that Bluepoint Games was making a God of War live service game. I'm going to repeat that. Bluepoint was making a God of War live service game. Who the hell at PlayStation thought this was a great idea? Herman Hulst, was this you? Was this you, Herman Hulst? Because Herman Hulst has some explaining to do. He really does. This right here is insane. Now, if they come out and say maybe Bluepoint wanted to do this, I might feel a little bit better about it. But even still, as the head of first party, as the head of PlayStation, you got to look at Bluepoint and tell him, nigga, no. Nigga, no. I love God of War. I even love the God of War game that came with God of War Ascension, the multiplayer game. But Bluepoint is too talented to be making a God of War live service game. Now, I heard the rumblings that Bluepoint was working on, how did they word it? They're working on an original IP or something like that. Basically, the wording made it seem as if, or that people speculated as if they were working on a new game, but it wasn't a new IP. So when I heard that, I'm like, okay, if it is God of War, because I originally thought Bluepoint was making a God of War Atreus game. I thought that was what it was. If you play God of War Ragnarok, that makes sense. I thought they were working on an Atreus game. And I'm like, you know what? I'm okay with that, because I'm a fan of Atreus, and I thought he deserved his own game, similar to like a Miles Morales. And if Blue Point was making it, I'm not too upset about that. But to hear that it was a live service God of War game, no. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. That's one of the worst that's one of the worst assignments that I think somebody could put a studio like this on. They're just too talented. We saw what Blue Point have done with remakes. We saw what they like from a visual aspect, from asset aspect, attention to detail aspect. They're really good. Only thing we haven't seen Blue Point do is make something from the ground up. And if you got half the battle when it comes to like what a PlayStation tentpole game looks like, you got the banging ass visuals, probably a cinematic ass story with some good gameplay. Like they already had half or a quarter of the battle taken care of. You're supposed to give them an original new IP to work on. And apparently they were working on God of War Ragnarok from 2020, was after Demon Souls, up into 2022 when they started working on this live service God of War game. So it's only had been 2 years into development, but no, even more of a reason still to not make a live service God of War game. No, absolutely not. Ben's canceled game with Siphon Filter. Nah, you lying. Where you hearing that at? Because I was hoping they would bring live service back, Siphon Filter back. But speaking of Ben Studio, I think they might be on the chopping block, people. I think they might be on the chopping block. And here's the thing with Ben Studio. Check your text, bro, and just a thumbs up. I'll look at it after the stream. I got you. Ben Studio. So they were working on, of course, they made Days Gone 1. We all know what happened with Days Gone. Apparently, either didn't sell enough or the development cycle wasn't good enough to the point where the upper management at Ben Studio didn't want no parts of Days Gone 2. No parts of it. Fine. People were upset. People still holding on to it. I'm sure John Garvin, what's his name? John Garvin? Oh yeah, he's somewhere. He's somewhere throwing back shots in celebration that Ben Studio looks like they're crumbling right now. Because he'll be the first one to tell you, oh, we had the outline already made for Days Gone 2 with new features and what the story was going to be like. He's somewhere rejoicing because PlayStation will put Days Gone in Astrobot, or they won't celebrate them in what was it, the Amazon TV show thing that was going on, or something like that. He was upset about. I don't know, but he's probably somewhere sitting back laughing that Ben Studio is going through turmoil right now. But Ben Studio gave you Days Gone in what, 2019? 2019. And yes, 2019, and this is now 2025. So we're coming up on 6 years since Days Gone. And they have 2 projects that they were potentially making that won't see the light of day. That is tough. That is hard to come back from in today's industry, especially PlayStation. So I would not be surprised if Ben Studio gets shut down. I would not be surprised. And if what they were making was Siphon, how do you not get Siphon Filter to work? How? In a space where espionage is few and far between, how do you not get that to work if it was Siphon Filter? So, yeah. Listen, do I think what has happened here goes against how I feel about PlayStation and the live service initiative and what Shuhei Yoshida said about it impacting single-player games? I don't think it does. Because, hear me out. The only studio I will say it probably did is Blue Point. And that's what I'm saying. If it comes out that they wanted to make a single player game and PlayStation put them on a live service game, you got me. You got me at the rights. That'll be the first single player game that I felt was impacted by the live service push. Ben Studio, after Days Gone, we've been heard that they were working on a live service game. So I don't know if they decided they wanted to do that or PlayStation put them on that. So that one I can't say. That one I can't. I feel like if they were bringing back Siphon Filter, they probably would want to have some type of live service component with that. So I'm not convinced that was like canned and impacted like with the single player outlook. She said, J-May, Media Molecule has to go before Ben. Days Gone sold 10 million. It was the average reviews. I mean, Media Molecule, they on the hot seat. They on the hot seat for sure. Media Molecule is definitely on the hot seat. So don't get me wrong, like, I'm a fan of Media Molecule, but I would say that they're on the hot seat too. They definitely got to come correct with this next game. Or I do think it could be curtains for them as well. But, all right, let's look at PlayStation's first-party studios, and let's look to see where the single-player games is coming from. Ben Studio, we already know what just happened with them. It's funny, Ben Studio and Bluepoint are the first two on the list. Let me pull it up for y'all. Ben Studio, Bluepoint, Fire Sprite, which, is this? Did they do Concord? No. This is the team that we heard is supposed to be making a horror game or some type of narrative single player game. I'm hearing that this is supposed to be like Until Dawn 2, but nothing has been confirmed. So we'll see what comes from Fire Sprite. Who else we got? Guerrilla Games. We know that they're making Horizon 3. We know that they're making Horizon Online multiplayer. So they still got single player games coming. Haven Studios was always a live service studio. We waiting to see more from Fair Games. Housemarque. They just dropped Returnal in 2021. They said they're working on their new game now. I'm assuming it's going to be a single player game because that's what they have made. Maybe have some co-op aspect to it. Insomniac Games. Wolverine is their next game. Single player. Malaysia Studio. Media Molecule. I believe their next game is supposed to be like an action adventure game. Sounds like a single player game to me. Naughty Dog. Intergalactic single player game. Nixus Port Studio. Polyphony Digital. Gran Turismo. San Diego Studio. MLB The Show. San Mateo. Santa Monica Studio. Cory Barlog is supposed to be working on a sci-fi game. I'm assuming that's supposed to be single player. Sucker Punch. Ghost of Yote. Single player game. Team Asobi, they just dropped Astrobot, single player game. We're assuming the next game will probably be a sequel to Astrobot, single player game. So when I'm looking at PlayStation's first party studios, where are we looking at single player games being sacrificed? Single player games being sacrificed for live service games, except for what might have been what Bluepoint was working on with God of War. And maybe what Ben Studio was working on with Siphon Filter. If that is even true, I don't even see a report for that. So where are we coming from with that? You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm trying to figure out. So Intergalactic, Wolverine, Ghost of Yote, Housemarque, and Sony Santa Monica are the only studios that are releasing games for the rest of the gen. Let me see. Well, single player games, right? Single player games probably. Oh, Media Molecule. If that game doesn't get canceled, they're releasing the game too. And who else do we have? Yeah, and Media Molecule. Oh yeah, that original Greek trilogy. That probably could be Nexus. Venom game. We'll see. They ain't even do DLC for Spider-Man 2, so maybe they are putting it all into the Venom game. See, what I do think here is what's happening. I do think PlayStation needs more first party studios. I think they need more first party studios. Media Molecule game ain't coming. Why you don't think that's coming out this generation? They're a small studio. It wouldn't take a whole generation for them to make a game. Dreams came out in what, 2020? Dreams came out in 2020. But yeah, we're gonna continue this conversation on the podcast. Good gaming. Y'all make sure y'all go and check out Kofi's channel. I'm about to get up out of here because we go live at 8 o'clock. Of course, I'm gonna be on Twitter. We'll continue this conversation on there as well. But I appreciate everybody for tuning into this stream. Feels good to be back talking video games. I love this shit. And hit that like button on your way out the door. But before you do, let me give you the link to the podcast. Let me see if he put that up. I don't even know if he put that shit up yet. Bear with me. Yeah, he ain't put that up yet, so I'm going to just give you the link to his channel, Kofi's channel. And y'all pull up on us, man. Come check us out. Come check us out over there on the podcast. It should be a good show. It should be a good show. 2025 starting with a bang. Oh, man. All right, shoot, bang. Am I going to talk about the Switch 2? Brother, I talked about the Switch 2 at the beginning of the show. Rewind the episode. Shout out to the next generational tanking. Facts. We coming for that number one pick. But I'm out. I'm going to holla at y'all. I'll see y'all on my next stream. Oh, how do I end this? Where we at? Oh, here we go. All right. I'm out. Peace.